I didn't even do this on purpose, but somehow the same week that Wicked comes out, I accidentally built a greenhouse and now a pink house in The Sims. And I swear these things were fully unrelated. The green one was inspired by a toilet. It had nothing to do with the movie. But I guess maybe subconsciously I'm feeling really festive about this Wicked release. And today my plan is to build a base game house inspired by all of the pink swatches from that big update a few months ago. For example, we got these windows in that update and I've been using them quite a bit since the update came out, but I mostly just use them in plain white. I kind of forget that they even have this pink swatch, but it's a really nice shade of pink. It kind of has like a cute bubblegum pink vibe to it, and there's matching tile. We have a wall tile and a floor tile. There's even a matching fireplace. So we're gonna try to use all of this in the build. I think the only disappointment with this update is that there is not a pink kitchen set in it. I'm actually kind of annoyed by that because we got this really beautiful new counter and matching upper cabinet, and it has a few painted swatches. There's yellow, there's green, there's blue. There's no pink. So we've got all the colors of the windows. The windows come in yellow, green, and blue. But instead of giving me pink cabinets, I got a second kind of blue cabinet. And you wonder how we always end up with blue Suburbans. It's the game's fault. They love to give us blue swatches. We never get anything else. I would love to have some more pastel cabinet swatches, or even just like more painted cabinet swatches in general. I really, really like this cabinet, but I want more colors of it. I could have like this cabinet, but like 5 different versions. One that has all wood tones, one that's got all colorful tones. I need a lot more colors of this thing, but that's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is that we're gonna try and build an all pink house using just the base game. I think I'm gonna do it in Willow Creek here on this Rindle Rose lot that is conveniently directly behind my base game. That's like the worst location for it. And I'm kind of presenting this as though I'm gonna build this house right now, but in fact, I actually built it literally months ago over on my Twitch stream. February 14th. I built this on February 14th. This was my Valentine's Day build. Oh my god. I thought it was gonna be like June or July or something. That's even worse than I thought. I think that was probably the first stream that I did after I came back from my break after my wedding then. I feel like that day I streamed like a recap of the wedding. I just like went through photos and stuff, and then we did a Sims build. So I think it would have been that Sims build. Okay, wow. This has been interesting to discover. I'm only posting it now because I'm posting a 64 by 64 lot next week, and I figured it was kind of unrealistic to edit that one and a long one for this week too, with Thanksgiving in the middle. Well, welcome to the long lost pink house speed build, I guess. Let me just start walking you through what we've built here. I think my main plan with this was to have it kind of have a little bit of a farmhouse vibe. I think a lot of the stuff in the base game feels sort of fancy and like traditional in that way. Think like the kind of grandma style furniture in the base game. I want to use a lot of that in here. So that's why I went for this sort of farmhouse look to it all. I really wanted the whole exterior to be pink. Like in my dreams, the exterior had pink wallpaper, pink windows, pink roof, but the base game is really lacking in terms of roof textures, as we all know. So it kind of has like it's almost like a pinky purpley roof texture. And then I thought it looked really weird with pink wallpaper because the roof, the walls, and the windows all were different, kind of like contrasting shades of pink. So in the end, it's got white wallpaper and then the pink windows everywhere. It's also really small on the inside. I didn't even mean for this to happen, but because the lot is so small, the interior also ends up being kind of small. So figuring out the placement of the stairs was kind of a process as well. I ended up putting them right there, just kind of by the front door. And now we're gonna start throwing in some random furniture just to see if we can visualize the scale of the place. I don't really intend to use those kids' chairs, I promise, but I just wanted to see if it fit that way or not. I tend to do that in all of my build videos where I'll just like put down some random furniture because it really helps me when I place down a rug and like a couch or a bed and a dining table, just because I can see the scale of the space a little bit more easily. So if I were to give you any tips for building, honestly, it would be that, because floor plans I know are really hard. Just put down some random furniture so you can see how it fits as you're doing the initial floor plan. It really, really helps me with this process. But what we're gonna end up having is sort of like the living room in the way back, the kitchen in the front, and then a dining table right in the middle in between. And oh my god, I think that when I built this, this might have been the first build that I did with the update. Oh no, this is really dating the video, isn't it? Okay, well, if I had posted this like 10 months ago, it would have felt really exciting. But now it's just a base game speed build Sunday. Again, in my defense, I got married the week of that update. It was very unfortunate timing, so had a lot going on. It was sort of a busy moment in my life. Well, now I'm going back through and I'm putting all of the windows in on the outside. And I will say, I love these windows and I love that there's a matching door that has like the white frame and the pink on the inside of it. It really reminds me of The Sims 3, this whole update, like the window colors, the shape of the door, the nice big sliding door. I feel like I'm playing The Sims 3 when I use this stuff, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I feel like normally Sims 3 would be an insult, but for me, when something has Sims 3 vibes, that's a good thing. It's like nostalgic and positive for me in that way. If it looks like The Sims 3, like that's an insult in appearance. But in energy, a Sims 3 energy is good. I also had a hard time deciding what kind of appliances I wanted to use. I just used the plain white counters from the update in here, but with the appliances, there's a couple that are pink. The cheapest ones come in pink. And then we also have the really expensive ones, like the most expensive $13,000 fridge or whatever. That has kind of a pink swatch, but it's more magenta than pink, and I think it's kind of ugly, so I didn't use it. I've got the cheap ones instead, and I think that's okay. I think it looks nice like that. I also have some pink bar stools. Those are the ones that were made for that CC update like 3 or 4 years ago. They've got a nice pastel color. I used the pink microwave. I put some pink tile on the walls. And you know what? I don't think I've ever used that pink swatch of those appliances before. There's also a mint swatch on those appliances, and I've definitely used that one because I've played Not So Berry a bunch, and the first generation of that legacy is mint. I've also used like the plain white one a bunch, but I don't know if I've ever used the pastel pink. And I love pastel pink, but I think maybe it's just because we don't have a lot of other pink stuff in the game, so it can be kind of hard to match things to it when it doesn't really have anything else that goes with it. But I guess I stand corrected because I built an entire house using pink stuff, so maybe I'm wrong. So now we're trying to find a way to fit in the dining table. I really wanted to have a nice big dining table in here, but I just think it ends up being a little bit too small for that to work out. We're kind of like trying to readjust the floor plan a little bit as well, but I think it looks really weird from the outside, so bear with me, it's gonna be fine. We kind of like extended this huge bump out, and then I pushed the fireplace back into the corner because that way I could have the fireplace and the table, and then I wanted to have a separate TV stand because I don't really like to put a TV on top of that fireplace because it's pretty tall, so I think the TVs just don't really fit very well above it. I'm not one of those like anti-fireplace above the TV people. I'm not on like our TV too high. I don't really care about that, but I think it looks weird when it doesn't look like it fits, and this fireplace doesn't really fit a TV, so I didn't want to put a TV above it. I used a few other base game things that I don't normally go for. Like, I don't really use the decorative pillows that often. I really should use them more, but I put them on the couch in here. We have that really nice piece of art. It's just one, but I put it 3 times so it kind of looks like it tiles. There's also this little rose item. I think it's a reward from going on dates, and I don't use that very often either, but it has this really cute pink rose in it. I think it only comes in like 3 swatches, but one of them has a blue base and a pink rose. So I put that on the dining table. I put a mirror above the fireplace for some decoration, and then I'm moving some Sims in so we can try and fix the lighting a little bit more. That is one of my other biggest gripes with The Sims 4 is that I can't change the lighting colors in build mode. I don't understand why you can't do that. You could even do it in old games. Like, I just don't understand why you can't change lighting from build, but it was all too stark. It was like very white in here, so I wanted it to be a little bit more of a yellow tone. And then in the kitchen, I have this super cute bay window. I so badly wanted to put something nice and decorative there, and I kept thinking like, oh, you know, the bay window couch, but it's from Cats and Dogs. I think there's one from Seasons too, so we even have a couple different bay window items, but none of them are in the base game. What we do have is this weird base game buffet table. I always forget it exists because it's in a really weird section of the catalog. I'll show it to you once we're back doing the tour at the end, because it isn't under the surfaces section. It's like only under the miscellaneous category, but it kind of has that bay window sort of shape, but I put it backwards so it looks like it's slotted perfectly into the window area. And then I just put like a plant and a couple decor items on it. I also put a phone on the wall. We're putting like a rug and some decor inside of the hallway. I'm just using regular base game curtains, and I'm putting a shelf above them so it looks like a curtain rod. I wish that we had a curtain rod item in the base game because we've got a couple from other packs now, but it'd be nice to have just like a simple beam thing in the base game. It's always like those simple, like the easiest little random items that are the most lacking in The Sims. Just a beam. I just want a plain white simple beam, but we don't have one, so I was just using a shelf. It is kind of annoying because I think your Sims can leave plates on the shelf up there, but I've played in houses like this a bunch, and they don't do it really. Like, it's probably happened to me a couple of times, but they won't really put their plates up there that often. I think it's a little bit too high, hopefully. But if you play in this house and they're putting plates on the shelf, I apologize. That's my bad. Beauty is pain. It had to be done so we could have a nice curtain rod. It was our only option. Otherwise, I'm just putting like a bookshelf. I put the walls pink in here. We've got a really big hallway, which is kind of unfortunate because we don't really need this big hallway in a space this small, but it was just sort of how the layout all ended up working out. So in here, I'm putting just some decorative stuff. We've got some pictures. I tried to put a bookshelf, you know, those sort of things. I also tested it because this bookshelf is really close to the stairs. I was worried they wouldn't be able to get past it, but I had us in here to play test and they can, so that's all good. I guess the last little space downstairs then is the bathroom. I can't remember if there's a bathroom upstairs. I don't think there is. I think it's just this bathroom. Right now we have pink flooring and white walls, and I really hope I change it because I can't remember what it looks like finished. I watched the build back already too, but I can't remember. Looking at this again, I'm like, oh, I should have used pink wallpaper. I don't know if I like them together, but we've got this, I guess. And it's sort of a weird shape. So what I did is I made that like 2x1 separate room into a toilet room so that we could use the bathroom and have it all fit. I thought about making that into a space for the shower. I even put the shower in there first, but I feel like it was just really tucked away in that weird corner, so it made more sense to have the toilet. And it's also kind of luxurious to have a separate toilet room, to have like a water closet situation. That feels like a rich person fancy thing to me. So I've got one of those in here. Also, the shower and the sink are both pink. I forgot that those things, oh, there's a second bathroom upstairs. Okay, good. Well, I forgot that those things came in a pink swatch, so I used those. I think, funnily enough, that's the cheapest sink, and then the shower is maybe the most expensive shower, which is hilarious. There's absolutely no logic to any of the pricing in The Sims 4. It makes no sense. But I think that's that crystal clear shower that costs like 1,300 simoleons. So cheapest appliances, cheapest sinks, and then most expensive shower that come in the same swatch colors, because of course they do, right? And then upstairs we have 3 bedrooms. In the primary bedroom I left wood flooring. In the other 2 I put pink carpet because this pink carpet was also new in that update. And I was really excited about the carpet aspect of this update because I feel like The Sims 4 up until this point, and honestly still now, but mostly up until this point, was really lacking in carpet too. We only had a couple of them, and they had a really intense texture, I guess you could say. This carpet, I think, is a little bit more neutral. It's sort of like a flatter carpet. I think it's a little bit more realistic like this. The only other ask that I have of carpet, I think, at this point in The Sims 4 is to have carpeted stairs, because I think carpeted stairs are super realistic. A lot of people have them, or even just stairs that have a runner or something, because we only have the wooden stairs and some like various almost plastic looking ones, and there's like some stone ones, but I would love to have a carpeted staircase. I just worry that it would look bad because the texture on the stairs and the lighting on the stairs is kind of weird, but I think it would be nice for realism to have one of those. This extra bedroom, I decided to furnish as not a bedroom. I made it into like an office, craft room, study room kind of thing. If you were gonna play in this house, you could really easily swap it out and have it be a kid's room or something. But for me, I felt like it was gonna be more useful to be able to put all of the skill building things in here. So I have an easel, we've got some canvases, there's a bookshelf, and then we also have a desk with a computer. Oh, and the bonsai tree too. So there's like all kinds of skill stuff in that room. I tried for a bit to think about putting the computer in that downstairs hallway, like by the entryway, but it just didn't really work. It was kind of weird there. It was a little bit too tight, so I swapped it and just put this in this room. I've also sometimes in tight spaces like this, I'll just put the desk and the easel in the primary bedroom too, so that could be an option as well, but I did not do that here. I was a little bit greedy and I took one of the bedrooms to just be skill stuff. I also put a little bit more clutter on the nightstands than maybe I normally would. They've got a lamp, there's books, one of them has a plant, and then the other one has an alarm clock. And I'm so bad about using that alarm clock. I always kind of forget that it's there, which is funny because there's an alarm clock in the Comfy Gamer kit, but it's more like decorative. It kind of looks like a rocket ship lamp thing. This is like a true to form, like stereotypical classic looking alarm clock. It's like an alarm clock looking alarm clock. And I wanted to use that here because it's nice clutter, but it also had pink. So I tried that. I just don't find them that useful in game. It's like kind of fun for storytelling purposes, but I don't really need an alarm clock for my Sims because they usually wake up on their own for work and stuff. And like when they need to be up, usually I just get them up. Like I'll just cancel a sleep interaction, but it's kind of cute to have the option, so I put one of those in there. I also went back and I added the video game console downstairs into the living room because I forgot that also comes in pink. So we've got a pink video game console. And then for a second there, I was thinking about having pink columns on the exterior because we're going back to finish the rest of the outside now. The whole interior is furnished, but it looked really bad. So I deleted that. And you can see what I mean with how the roof is kind of a different shade of pink. We also have these almost like magenta colored plants on the planter boxes. That's why the pink wallpaper just did not work. It was way too many shades of pink. It kind of just looked busy and like messy. So the white I thought made a little bit more sense. It made the pink windows stand out more too. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the pink windows to be the highlight. We also got a little pathway up to the front, and it has like a tiny brick or like tile almost trim on it. And that trim, it's kind of reddish, but I think it's very similar to the color of the roof. So that kind of worked out in bringing that color down. So I used that in the front and in the back. In the way back, I put a pink hot tub because I forgot that that anniversary hot tub came in pink. There's also pink lounge chairs back there, so we have those. I might be changing the floor. Uh-oh, I liked better before. Oh no, past Simsie made a mistake. I want to put it back to how it was. It's always funny to look back at your own build. It's funny when that happens because at the time I remember being really stressed, and stress is a strong word, but you know how I get. I like overthink things. I remember at the time really overthinking the color of the flooring and changing my mind and like really dwelling on it and being like, Chad, I don't know what to do. And now I don't even like what I changed it to. 10 months later, I've changed my mind again. Okay, well anyway, I'm putting in a little bit more landscaping. So I've got some lighting by the doors. We've got a couple big oak trees. There's some nice big bushes. I decided to put the dining table stuff on the porch because there wasn't enough space for it outside in the back. So I've got a little table and a grill here. I have a welcome mat. There's a couple planter box thingies. I put some candles with some lights on the table, so it'd be nice to sit out there. And then I think the last thing we're gonna do is just get a bunch more plants. Oh, I have a trash can too. I do not have a thermostat because we don't have seasons, but there is a trash can. And now we're just gonna do some kind of classic Simsie landscaping with some low-lying bushes and a couple different kinds of pink flowers. I like how this looks though in the end because these are the kind of the same flower as the ones in the planter box. So I think it hopefully helps tie everything together pretty well. At least that's what I was going for. And then we're gonna add a couple more trees and things. I'm just putting the same plants everywhere though. I kind of just mimicked it across the whole build. It's always interesting to think about what people's landscaping preferences are because this is very much how I landscape in The Sims. Like almost all of my builds have this style of landscaping with like varying flower colors and bushes and stuff. But I pretty much always do it like this where I have the low-lying flowers, some kind of larger big green bush, and then some kind of pretty flower, accent flower. But some people have totally different preferences. Oh my God, I can see that one of those bushes is clipping through the wall. Okay, I fixed it. I was gonna get really mad at my past self if I didn't fix it. But the last thing I did was put a couple more planter boxes. There's a telescope so your Sims can die, and then I did some terrain paint, and that is the full build complete. I feel like I did not stop talking to breathe for a single second this whole speed build. It went by really quick. It was a quick build, but I called it just Pink Suburban on the gallery. It is a 20 by 15 lot and it's base game only. So if you're looking for it, if I were you, I would go to my gallery page. My name's just lilsimsie on there, and then filter by 20 by 15 lots. You don't have to scroll very far because I don't build that many tiny houses, and you should be able to find it pretty easily that way, although the gallery is the gallery, so fingers crossed it works. I want to load back into the game and download it now so I can show you a tour in a little bit more real-time speed, so it's a bit easier to look around. But see, it's just called the Pink Suburban. It's $75,000. Oh my God. And it only has that free holiday celebration pack. I can't believe it's that expensive. It's so tiny. That's a really pricey build. This is what it looks like from the outside though. I'll kind of just spin around so you can see the full tour. I put a couple of these bay window things in, and I really like how that looks with the roof line. Like, I think it's kind of cute to have that little angled bit from the front too. But here's kind of a top-down view of the outside. And then when you come inside, here's the full downstairs floor plan. So when you first walk up, you can get your mail right here. You can walk in the front door, and we have just a big open hallway. There's a phone, coat rack, lamp with some books and stuff. And then in through this archway, this is like the full living space. So in the way back, we have the kitchen with the beautiful pastel kitchen appliances. And then this thing that I was telling you about, it's called the hostess station. But you see how I'm in the miscellaneous surfaces category? I would have put it in like the accent tables category personally. But in miscellaneous surfaces, we have this thing. Does it fit anywhere? It only has a couple of swatches. Some of them are kind of weird too. But I always forget that this exists. I used it in just the gray color because it had the white top. And then I flipped it around backward because it fits pretty nicely inside of the bay window. So if you like bay windows and you don't have any packs, because I like to use, I don't know, even My First Pet Stuff has one. I like these kind of sofas because they fit perfectly there, but if you don't have any of those, this thing is base game. I just put that like weird Lindsay smart speaker on it and some books. We also have the really expensive trash can, so that definitely contributes to the price of the place. But then this is the dining room. I like how there's this new rug that goes underneath the fireplaces. It looks really good there. Small dining table. Here is the living space with like some pillow accents and some cute chairs, and then this games table. What I did here is I have a regular old normal side table. I used Move Objects and I placed it inside of these upper cabinets. So it looks like this cabinet thing has some special legs, but it's kind of like a deeper version of that table, and it looks a little bit more custom. This is the bathroom, so we've got a sink and then this shower. Yeah, look at that. The crystal box shower stall, $1,315. That is the most expensive base game shower aside from the shower tub combo. You'd think that like one of the cheaper ones would have the matching colors, but no, they do not. This is the cheapest sink though. And there's just that little bathroom toilet space attached to it right here. And then when you go up the staircase, very tiny hallway, but I think it was very effectively placed because it made the rooms go around it really nicely. We've got one more bathroom with another expensive shower. We have the primary bedroom in here with some nice clutter around the place. We have one kid's bedroom in here. They've got a desk and like some toys and stuff in this area. And then lastly, we have like the skill building room. This has loads of expensive stuff in it too. Like these canvases are 3,000 simoleons. So no wonder it's a 76,000 simoleon house. And then if you go back downstairs through the sliding glass door, on the patio, we have some plants and our dining table. We also have the lounge chairs and the hot tub. I like the floor now. I've changed my mind again. This was a good choice. And then we have a very tiny grassy space in the backyard, but I have a couple of planter boxes, the telescope, and then just a hose for decoration. So that's the entire space. It's really not very big, but hopefully it's effective and like useful for you if you were to play here. Okay, I need to breathe. I've been talking so fast for so long. I've been trying in these speed builds to talk about one positive thing that has happened to me this week because I've had a really hard time this year, so I'm trying to like reframe my mentality. This week's positive is Wicked. I'm recording this before I go and see it, but I'm gonna see it on Friday and Sunday of this weekend, so I'm really excited. I'm actually seeing it at 9 a.m. on Friday, which is gonna be kind of funny, but I wanted to buy like the earliest tickets that I could, and that was the earliest I could go to see it. So catch me at the Disney Springs movie theater at 9 a.m. watching Wicked tomorrow. A lot of you probably know this, but I've been a huge fan of musicals like my entire life, and I am a massive Wicked fan. I love Wicked. I have loved Wicked forever. I saw the tour of Wicked in like 2008 when it came to Orlando, and I think that was like a formative moment in my life, genuinely. So I cannot wait to see the second part of the movie. I am the target audience for this. They made this for me. But if you've got anything fun happening right now, let us know in the comments down below. It could be as simple as like you baked cookies yesterday. Maybe you played a fun game. Maybe you watched a nice fun TV show. I don't know. Let's share some good news in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate you being here. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. Oh, by the way, I am putting up my Christmas tree soon. I've been trying to hold off as to not be like too early in my YouTube videos. I've got one up downstairs. I don't have it in my office yet. I think this week. I'm putting it up this week. And I guess that's another positive. It's almost Christmas time and we're gonna have pretty lights in the videos.